Did you know that Monterey has a zoo?
Hey folks, welcome to the Monterey Zoo. Who thought that Monterey had a zoo? That you can actually get special programs for feeding the lions and the
Elephants.
elephants, that's right, and the giraffes.
I think the giraffes.
And the giraffes too. So come on, let's go take a look.
We will check out those programs as we go along, but let's go get checked in. These camels are outside the admissions building, and the moment this camel saw me, he beelined for me. Suddenly I realized I was within spitting distance. Yes, camels spit. Turned out he was just friendly. So we headed inside to get our tickets and found a few surprises. There are several animal encounters you can buy special tickets for, including a couple of activities with the rhinos and feeding the lions. And you can have birthday parties here too.
So each adult ticket comes with a donation token that you use over here to put in for the donation of your choice. So they got the Lion Project, the NIASA Lion Project, Morris Animal Foundation, the National Rhino Foundation.
They have a lot. There's a whole bunch on the wall over here.
Oh wow, there's too many to read.
Along with the walls we showed you, there's a whole bunch of carousels, so don't miss those before you make your choice.
So in the same area as the tokens, there's the reptile house, and we almost missed it because the doors they're not really well marked, but I'm glad we saw it.
There's a sloth.
Two-toed sloth.
The sloth was sleeping, but many of the other reptiles were happily hanging out to check us out as we marveled over them. Lots of different types of pythons, as well as some snakes we knew, and lizards we didn't. This was my Harry Potter moment. If you know, you know. Who knew a Gila monster could be pink? I'd seen tan and black before, but never pink. So cool. And this little turtle was intrigued by the GoPro lights and screen. You start and end your tour here in this courtyard. There are vending machines here, but at present, no food. Picnics are not allowed at this time, but maps are everywhere, and we took a photo here and made our way to the birds.
Yeah.
I'm a dinosaur. I have very, very small arms. Where does that put me?
Black vulture, maybe?
Black vulture. Oh, I like those, so that works. Harry's turn. He has very long arms. You go all the way almost out to bald eagle. The birds are stop number one unless you head up the stairs to see the upper level first. I love the sign at the entrance. People protect what they love. This brown pelican was strutting around before deciding it was nap time. While you can see pelicans in this area of California easily, many of these animals are rescues, so it's nice to see them being cared for. There were so many beautiful birds in this area, but since it was midday, many of them were enjoying the shaded areas or nesting boxes and were harder to see. I was glad I brought around my long lens so you could see just how gorgeous they are, like this bald eagle.
So one thing to note about the Monterey Zoo, this is a non-profit zoo. So you know, it is important to come out and support it when you can and you're in the area.
One thing we found out is that not all zoos and aquariums are non-profits. This one was started actually by the owner who had a very big interest in animals, found somebody who had a wild animal they could no longer take care of. And the zoo was born, all from a lion, where it started. Off to see the monkeys. with a few wonderful surprises along the way.
An African sulcated tortoise?
I'll admit, I wasn't aware that there are different types of lemurs. Turns out there are over 111 known species, including the ring-tailed and the ruffed. One of the things that struck us is just how beautiful the landscaping is here, and lots of seating to rest and enjoy it. It took us about 2 hours to tour, and we took several breaks for filming. So with 2 hours, you will have plenty of time to rest in the shade and enjoy the animals.
So a couple things to keep in mind is there are some grades. So if you don't do well with elevation, this might be a little hard for you, but it is perfectly accessible for a wheelchair or something like that. There are some stairs here, but you can work around them in order to get back down from the upper levels. There are lots of little areas that you sort of circle around. Make sure you get one of the maps. It's very important.
This was one of the fun surprises. We don't have gators in California, and while they may be common for you Floridians, they are a treat for us. How can something look so fierce and so happy at the same time? The elevated walkway here really made it easy to see them, and we just loved them.
Okay, so around the zoo you'll find these little QR codes that you take the picture. You try to take the picture to access the QR code. And then
If you have service, it starts to load, but it hasn't finished loading for us. I'll let you know if it comes in.
Most of the monkeys were lazing about, but these squirrel monkeys were on a tear. It's always fun to get to see them and learn more about them at the zoo. And it's clear that this zoo really cares about the environment of these animals. We did see these signs about the park and did notice families respecting them. At the badger enclosure, we did get the app to load, so make sure to use this feature at the zoo when you visit. We saw them on, I think, almost all of the enclosures. It's summer in this part of California, and this little guy was just looking for someplace to splunk. Off to see the smaller of the big cats, with more surprises here too. Technically, the mountain lion, also known as a puma or cougar, is in the small cat family. They even purr, just like your house cat. The reason there are squirrels in this area is a mystery. Can someone tell us why?
It's a bear cat. They're neither a bear or a cat.
Most of the animals were lazing in the shade, so it was cool to see him out and about. Did you know that there are no black panthers? In fact, what you're probably seeing is a black spotted leopard. One of the fun facts we learned about hyenas is that they're actually more closely related to a mongoose or a cat than they are to a dog.
this is a large enclosure if you can go from side to side.
Yeah, look at that.
These Siberian lynx are just gorgeous. These two are definitely buddies, grooming each other in the shade. But this caracal was my favorite. Look at those ears! Off to see the rhinos. The warthogs were hiding in their enclosure, but the rhinos were front and center. While the southern white rhino is the least endangered of the rhinos, it's still threatened, and captive breeding programs are the only way to ensure the survival of the species. Since more males are born than females, these programs need somewhere else safe for the bachelor males to live, and zoos like this one lend a hand. We found out why there were no elephants. The zoo only has one at the moment, so it's living at another zoo where it can have a social group.
A couple of rhinos up here close. And as you can see way over there, there's a water buffalo and zebra way off in the distance.
There are 2 types of zebra here at the Monterey Zoo, and lots of info about them too. While we miss the elephants and do hope they can secure more soon to make a herd for the one out on loan, it was great to see the rhinos with their full horns. Many have had them shaved down due to poaching risks or danger to themselves and others during transportation. The view of this paddock was great from the top, where you could finally, clearly see the water buffalo. Time to head up to the upper level where the big cats live in Oz. From this gentle graded boardwalk, you also get to see behind the enclosures of the lynx, bobcat, and caracal. I was hoping to see the bobcat from this view, but he was inside his bedding area. There's also a wonderful view of the rhinos from here.
So down from the rhinos and the water buffalo enclosure is the way to get up to the lions and tigers and bears, and it's a boardwalk ramp that's not very bad. It's totally doable, as you can see.
And the views of the lower part of the zoo and the Gabilan Mountains were great to see from here.
I think we picked the right time to come to the zoo. It is about 68 degrees today, sunny, nice wind, totally the best time to come in July.
What did I tell you? Lions, tigers, and bears. He says Oz.
There are now 4 lions who live here at the zoo. All of them came from zoos that were unable to care for them any longer.
You are so beautiful.
This area has unique glass wall sections in each enclosure, so you can see the animals more clearly. And there's a program called Crunch Time, where for about $40 you can watch Feeding Hour, see them up close,
beautiful.
and learn even more about these big cats.
So even though the big cats seem to be lounging around and sleeping, it's really cool when they look at you. I just love it. I just found the male lion right here.
Right there.
So right across where that male lion is are restrooms. There's 2 places in the park, so use them when you find them.
This is a great place to take a break, and there were vending machines with drinks on this level as well.
You gonna have bears on this tour? Why, yes we are.
This was another time when those glass walls in the enclosures were wonderful. This black bear was beating the heat in his swimming pool, and we got to see him playing right up close. We found out some fun facts too, like that black bears fish for salmon at twilight, because the fish see the bears too easily in the daylight, but the bears see great at night and can still see the fish easily in low light. Watching him swim was just too much fun for us.
Hello, you. I love the big cats, but I think he might be my favorite today. He's awesome.
We totally loved him, But he and his friend are not the only bears here. There are 4 in total in 2 different enclosures. These animals often arrive from different zoos or locations, and getting paired up, while tricky, can offer them the company they need to live a happier life.
Look at the fur on his back. Oh, the other one's coming too. Hello, you two.
While all zoos get some harsh critique, and this one is no different, the people here have worked hard to create the safe place for these rescued animals and became a fully accredited zoo in 2020. This was not our first visit, but it's been wonderful watching to see how it's grown and changed over the years.
All right, so this is not a very large zoo. It has that one large area that we saw first that had like the badger and the rhinos, and then it has this upper deck here that has literally the lions, the tigers, and the bears. But it is really beautiful, really peaceful. It is not crowded. We are here at the end of July, and it's about, I don't know, it's now about 74 degrees in the sun, nice breeze, very comfortable, lots of places to sit and take a break, enjoy the animals, and we highly recommend it. You definitely want to come out.
So that's us wrapping it up from the Monterey Zoo.
Don't forget, take care, safe travels,
And we'll see you next time.
Heading out, you can either take the stairs or go back down the ramp. We were glad we chose the stairs.
Quail. Quail.
Did you just get them on camera?
I hope so. Oh, what do you call a gaggle of quail?
I don't know.
Look at them.
Hello, you, way down there.
And so the one thing about these last 2 animals that we're looking at, we're thinking they're alpacas, they could be llamas, but I think they're alpacas, is that you can only see them from coming down these stairs. There's no other way to actually see them that I can see. And so there is camelot. Okay, so down at the bottom of the stairs of the exhibit, it tells you right there the difference between the alpaca and the llama. And basically the alpaca has the afro.
You can see him right there.
Sure enough, the alpacas have all the hair. As always, you exit through the gift shop, and I discovered a brochure for Vision Quest, their zoo B&B. For about $300 a night, including your zoo entry fees, you can stay in a bungalow on site. It even gives you discounts on those special programs we were talking about, like Crunch Time. If you just want to come and visit the zoo, it's open 10 to 3, 7 days a week, some holidays accepted. Admission is $35.25 for ages 15 and up, $25 for ages 2 to 14, and under 2 is free. Watching the koi swim is always free. Speaking of free, this is the part of the video where we ask you to bop that like button, and we really do hope you decide to subscribe and come along with us on all of our adventures. We hope to see you in 2 weeks when we'll take you out on a boat for more wildlife encounters.